Okay, so we're going to game 7. Now, I did the video on 0-3 comebacks, and people were like, hey, you're putting the cart before the horse. It just feels like the momentum is all Edmonton, and I understand. I understand the job's not done, and I think the Oilers understand the job's not done. But this has to be the most impressive comeback in a Stanley Cup final I have ever witnessed. And the biggest swing in momentum I've ever witnessed in a Stanley Cup final. And that's going back to 1981. I've never seen anything like this. Normally, the team with a commanding lead in the series has that confidence and that ability to finish it off. And now, and you know the interesting part? No points for McDavid. None. They didn't need Connor McDavid's points tonight, although he threw a couple hits. He made some good plays. But yeah, they didn't need it. And for Draisaitl, he doesn't get a goal in this one either. So it feels like the Oilers won this one as a team tonight. All right. So it's Bobrovsky at one end and Skinner at the other. And that storyline is completely switched. So after the third game, I made the video on how goaltending was the difference. Goaltending's been the difference the last 3 games too. Except now the Oilers are getting it. And Florida's looks a little bit shaky. So absolutely, I can't say enough good things about the Oilers crowd, both inside the building and outside the building. You guys are absolutely killing it. And I can say that as somebody that watched 2 teams that I root for get taken out by the Oilers. And as mad as I might have been, especially the Canucks one, that one really hurt. But I can't deny this is kind of fun to watch. So this is the final game in Edmonton for the season, of course. The crowd was at 113 decibels, which is roughly equal to a jet engine before the game. So a little bit of excitement here. Broberg fires one wide during an early press. The goalie mockery continues, and fine. All right, Oilers fans, you guys are good. Hyman has a rush chance that's defended. Ekholm has a shot that's tipped wide. The shots on net are 1 apiece 3 minutes in. The Panthers press at 3.5 minutes, but they're kept to the outside. Anytime Florida had that offensive zone time, they weren't getting to the net. So the pressure was there. They just couldn't get there. Verhaeghe has a shot that's blocked during one of those Panthers presses. The Oilers get pinned down a bit. Janmark then has a shot that's caught and held. The fans call one. The referee does not. Ekblad hits the side of the net. The Panthers press after. Bouchard has a shot that's kicked aside. His next chance is held. Bobrovsky, pretty good bounce back to this point, and then it happens. At 7:27 on a really nice cross-ice pass by Leon Draisaitl. Warren Foegele buries it. He's on a 4-game point streak. Kulak with the other assist at 7:27. The Oilers are up 1-0. The crowd's absolutely, again, just electric. That elation, absolutely fantastic to see. Panthers look to respond. McDavid fires one wide from the slot. A Bennett hit on Broberg draws a crowd. That was after the whistle, too. And there was an offensive zone penalty being called by Janmark, or on Janmark during that play. I just don't think Bennett realized the whistle had gone, or he's just taking a freebie. One or the other. So the Panthers now with the power play, they cycle, it's cleared. They set up, they cycle. There's a failed clear, but then the Oilers clear on the next opportunity. After that, Tarasenko fires one wide. There's more cycling. Oilers clear it out again. And then there's a shorthanded rush by McLeod that ends it. No shots on net for Florida. Their power play continues to be very frustrated by an Oilers penalty kill that I don't think any of us going into the playoffs thought they were going to have a historically great penalty kill. But here we are. So, after that, the shots are 8-1 for the Oilers with 8.5 minutes left. The teams trade turnovers. Bouchard has a shot that's blocked. Nugent Hopkins has a shot that's kicked aside. The Oilers press with 6 minutes left. The Panthers press. Ekman Larsson has a screenshot that saved. Panthers are struggling to get to the net. Again, they're getting the zone time. They cannot get to the net. Holloway fires one high on a rush. The Oilers draw a power play, I should say. There's an early clear. They set up. They cycle. Draisaitl has a shot that's held. The Panthers clearing again. Barkov has a clear that ends it. One shot on net for the Oilers during their power play, which was kept off the board tonight. The Oilers press in the final minute. Ekman Larsson had both Panthers shots in the first 20 minutes. So 2 shots for Florida, both by OEL, who's on their first unit power play. And when I saw that, I thought, really? He's the first unit power play guy? Like, I'm not going to question Paul Maurice. Obviously, you're in the Stanley Cup final. You've done something right. But it's one of those things, kind of a head scratcher. So we go to the second period. It's 46 seconds in. The Oilers extend the lead on a 2-on-1 rush. Again, nice cross-ice pass and buried. Henrique scores this one from Janmark and Ekholm. The Panthers answer 10 seconds later. There's an offside challenge. Gutsy offside challenge, because that was close. Like, we were talking split second. But it looked offside to me. They call it offside. So there we go. It stays 2-0. And it really felt like that was a bit of a momentum swing. If that goal had counted, Florida would have had some confidence. But you could just see they got deflated when that one didn't count. The Oilers press for another after that. McDavid has a net drive that's defended. Draisaitl has a net feed that gets picked off. Then there's a pad save on Forsling. Skinner holds there. Things are pushy on the next hold by Skinner. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4 out of that. Reinhart fires one wide on a rush. Montour has a shot that's caught and held. The Panthers press 5 minutes into the period. But yeah, the shots are actually 2 apiece 6.5 minutes in. The Oilers doing a great job of shot suppression in this series, something they've done throughout the playoffs. One of those underrated parts of their game. So, the Panthers press. Ekblad fires one wide. Tkachuk then fires one wide on a turnover. I thought Darnell Nurse was coughing out the puck a little bit tonight. I'm not going to say Nurse sucks because it feels like everybody says that, but man, if he was on the Canucks, I'm sure there'd be some words that I would have had at some point. Now, when you get the win, it's fine. It's no problem. It's fine. It's not a big deal. So, McDavid has a net feed that's picked off. Lomberg misses an open net. Just, he should have been able to bury that. He doesn't because Lomberg. And I'm not saying that as an insult. Just in that situation, almost any other forward probably buries it there, right? So I do expect the Panthers to probably change up their lineup going into the next game. You need some more guys that can score. They've been struggling to score the last few games. Panthers with some strong forechecking. It felt like maybe there was a momentum shift, but again, they're not getting prime chances out of it. The Panthers draw a power play after a turnover. There's an early clear and then another. They cycle. Verhaeghe's denied. Puck's cleared out. Lundell has a shot that's held. The power play's killed off. 3 shots on that Florida power play. So this is where Skinner is doing his best to preserve that 2-0 lead. Panthers press with 6.5 minutes left. Things are pushy on a hole by Bobrovsky. Ekholm misses one high on a net drive. The Oilers press. Again, they're kept to the outside. Barkov has a slot shot. That's kicked aside. There's a near miss for Henrique. Puck's cleared out after that. The Let's Go Oilers chants, pretty much constant throughout the game. Again, absolutely loving the energy from the crowd. Clearly, it's firing up the Oilers at least a little bit. And I say at least a little bit because I don't know how much energy it actually gives the players when that's going on, but it can't hurt, right? So at 18 minutes and 20 seconds, late in the second period, Hyman, beautiful goal on a fast break. He just, right around Bobrovsky and into the net. Nugent-Hopkins with the assist, and then we get some pushing at the horn. But Edmonton doesn't bite. I think Florida was trying to get them to take a penalty and have a power play to start the third. This wasn't happening. So it's 3-0 Oilers after 2. Third period, early edge for the Oilers. Nurse flattens Tarasenko in the corner, fairly and without penalty. Montour fires one wide on a rush. Lundell has a chance that's blocked out. And then at 1:28, Florida quiets the crowd just a little bit. Barkov goes around Skinner on a net drive. Filthy move. He scores from Verhaeghe. And it was a good forecheck by the Panthers that led to the goal as well. And I do think it was Nurse that coughed up the puck behind the net before that play. Panthers look for another. McLeod has a rush chance that's saved. Hyman has a net drive that's defended. Things are pushy on a hole by Bobrovsky. And it felt like the Oilers were coughing up the puck in their own zone a little bit. Maybe nerves on some level, right? Because this is like potentially the last game of the season. But they fought their way through it. Panthers press at 4 minutes. Luostarinen has a wraparound. That's blocked. Bennett has a near miss as Ryan Nugent-Hopkins prevents a goal. Nugent-Hopkins had a very strong game here. The shots are 2 apiece, 5.5 minutes in. The Oilers are perfectly fine with that. That means not a lot of chances for Florida getting to the net. Then there's an offensive zone penalty by Derek Ryan. It was a high stick. It happens. 13:45 left in the game. So clearly very, very important penalty kill for the Oilers. And I think it was Cuthbert announcing the game, right? Said one of the most, maybe the most important penalty kills for the Oilers. And I thought, well, of course it's the most important penalty kill for the Oilers because this is Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final. Every power play / penalty kill is the most important now. So there's an early clear. Ekman-Larsson then fires one wide. They cycle. It's cleared again. Then there's a shorthanded Janmark shot. That's saved. Pretty good shot there by Janmark. Montour fires one wide on a rush. There's a late cycle. Lundell has a shot that's held. And that's the only shot on the power play. It's killed off, just that one shot. Reinhart then fires one wide from the high slot. The shots are 3 apiece at 9 minutes. Rodriguez has a rush chance that's saved. Forsling has a shot that's blocked as the Panthers get some pressure. Then we get a power play for the Oilers with 8.5 minutes left. There's an early cycle. Draisaitl can't bury one. Puck's cleared out. Panthers cleared out again. The Oilers cycle, but again, they're kept to the outside. Florida understanding that they cannot allow a goal here. McLeod has a shot that's saved. That's the only shot on that power play. It is killed off. Both teams 0 for 3 tonight. The Panthers then have a 3-on-2 that's defended. They get a little bit of pressure after that. And Bobrovsky wins a race to the puck with Janmark to get the puck cleared out rather than have Janmark in on his own. So then the goalie pull happens with 3.5 minutes left. And at 16:45, McLeod hits the empty net from Warren Foegele. So that makes it 4-1. So they pull the goalie again right away because you're down by 3. A puck gets behind Skinner. Skinner then takes it on a stick, gives it to Nurse, and Nurse buries it into the empty net at the other end of the ice for an empty netter, meaning Skinner with an assist on an empty net goal here at 16:57. He was all ears, or he was all smiles, all ears. He was all smiles, like, anybody talking about me? No, not anymore, Skinner. Now we're talking about how good you are. And the "We Want the Cup" chants followed. Again, this is the appropriate time to chant "We Want the Cup." Before the playoffs, no. First round of the playoffs, a little early. Stanley Cup final, Game 6, forcing Game 7, absolutely. Chant it to your heart's content. I'm kind of surprised I can't hear it from here. And, you know, I was going to say something about the fact people are leaving in the final 2 minutes, but I get the feeling they were going outside to join the party. Because, yeah, it's quite the party outside. So, yeah, maybe they figured, you know, there's probably some kegs out there, however that party's going down. But yeah, 5-1 win for the Oilers. The 2 empty netters at the end kind of make it a little more lopsided than it was, but the Oilers were in full control, really. So the shots on net, 11-2 Oilers in the first, 11-4 Florida in the second, and then 8-6 Florida in the third. The final shots, both teams had 21. Power plays, both teams 0 for 3, as I previously said. The hits, 43-21 for Florida. So yes, they're still out hitting the Oilers. It's not having the desired effect. Bobrovsky, 16 saves on 19 shots. He's not going to get the Conn Smythe if they win Game 7 unless he saves like 58 shots. Skinner, 20 saves on 21 shots. This series is going 7. The Oilers now become the 10th team in NHL history to force a Game 7 when down 3-0 in a series. The league's history goes back to 1917. No matter how much people hate the Oilers or talk about how the team's trash, they've done something very, very few teams have ever done. And so, yeah, this should be a really fun Game 7 on Monday. I am very excited about how Game 7's going to go. And I think that, you know, Oiler fans, you guys have a reason to be really, really proud of this team, no matter what happens in Game 7. Plus, then the question gets asked of, does this affect Draisaitl wanting to stay or McDavid? Well, why wouldn't it? No matter what happens in Game 7, you want to finish the story, right? You want to do that bit where you finish your story. It doesn't have to be a Cody Rhodes thing. It can be a hockey thing too. And so here we are. The Florida Panthers were up 3-0. It looked like they were cruising to a championship. And now it doesn't seem that way at all. The Oilers have just absolutely destroyed them on the score sheet in the last 3 games. Will they do it again in Game 7? Will we see overtime in Game 7? I have no idea what to expect in Game 7. But we're going back to Florida. The Oilers are setting a record for the most mileage ever in a playoff run by a team. It's a lot. And the Stanley Cup has had its run, hasn't it? It's been in the building for 3 straight games, not awarded. Now it's going for a 4th game where it will be awarded. We know the Stanley Cup's getting handed out on Monday. But to who? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. And as I keep saying, this is such an amazingly fun Stanley Cup final to watch. Just as somebody who doesn't really care necessarily who wins, but at this point it's kind of hard not to root for the Oilers. After coming back from 3-0 down, I kind of want to see them finish it, but we'll see what happens in Game 7. Let me know your thoughts. Like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.